Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. We eat sandwiches and play games. Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. A podcast for everyone's day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Taste of Dragons, the Toddcast, the video game podcast that all you beachgoers listen to. And this week, it's our first episode of the summer bonus, y'all.
Woo! Hey.
It's gonna be wild.
Oh, I'm blanking on beach songs. Hang on a second.
There's a couple of Beach Boys that could probably help you out with that.
Okay, yes. California Girls. What's the other one? California Girls by Katy Perry. Yeah.
I was like, there's two
California
of them.
Girls.
Yeah, that. Oh, Margaritaville.
Oh,
James
man. Buffet. He's friends with Phoebe. He's a relative of Phoebe Buffet, right?
He is.
Right,
I cannot not think of him as the guy running away with his margaritas in Jurassic World.
Yeah. Yep. It was
So
beautiful.
I didn't. Guys, listen. It's the summer. It's the summer of bonus episodes. So we're just gonna play fast and loose with every single topic on this.
We are.
I'm gonna dive into Jimmy Buffett lore right now.
Oh, is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah, I didn't know how big the Jimmy Buffett thing. Like, okay, so I grew up in Florida with you guys, right?
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily know who Jimmy Buffett was when I was growing up. I was just like, yeah, I don't care who he is. Did he start a line of buffets? Great, I don't care. For a long time, I thought that he was the person that gave money away for like perfect college brackets, and then somebody told me it was Warren Buffett, and I was like, oh,
Yep.
oh, I look like a fool.
Is that his brother? Is that his cousin?
Yeah, it's so I remember starting to listen to Jimmy Buffett because like it was on a summer or like a beach playlist once I lived out of the state, and I didn't realize Florida's obsessive problem with Jimmy Buffett until I flew back, and the first thing I saw out of the airplane at Fort Lauderdale International Airport is a Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Just like a tiny little Margaritaville stand. It's not even like the full-size restaurant. It's just a little stand. And I'm like, oh, man, it's bad.
A fun fact about Jimmy Buffett. Back in 2011, they were launching a 3D Facebook game for Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville.
Oh, yeah?
It's called Margaritaville Online.
And apparently it made so many millions. All of them. It's still around, right? Right?
Well, then in 2016, they Margaritaville Enterprises aimed to make an app directly with a developer called FunPlus.
Oh.
I don't recall if that one is still around either.
Fair. You know, Fun Plus is you're shooting for the moon with that. That's just guaranteeing you to not have to happen.
Farm Plus just makes me think about a Jimmy Buffett farming sim. Like, is that something that we can develop?
I mean,
I don't know how Jimmy Buffett plays into it.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll workshop it.
Is that Jimmy Buffett would play into it by we make like our God tier mode when you have everything the Margaritaville mode, and then you're able to put Margaritavilles wherever you want in the game.
And it's just 5 o'clock.
Always
It's all
5
the
o'clock.
time. The time never changes.
Yeah, as soon as you put your very first one down, it's 5 o'clock from then on. That's how it works.
I like it.
Yeah, it's the summer bonus, everyone. So as always, my name is Brian.
Oh wait, we skipped this. Brian, one more time. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm leaving this in.
So it's the summer bonus, everyone. So as always, my name is Brian.
My name's Hansel.
And I am Joe.
That's right, because we're playing fast and loose. That's how we're doing.
Oh,
and I noticed as soon as I put as always, my name is Brian. I looked up at the camera and Sal was just sipping water, and I was like, oh no, Sal is not ready for this at all.
No, I wasn't. I thought for some reason in my brain I thought we had gone through that, and I was just like, oh yeah, it's smooth sailing. But no,
not here in Margaritaville. It's not.
Nope, guys. No rules, just right.
That's
That's
the
Outback
slogan. That's absolutely the slogan. You got it.
Yeah, perfect.
Got it.
Love it.
Rules out for summer.
Yeah, rules out for summer.
Done. Well, I am still going to start us off with a question, though. And my question, let's see how long it takes us. So, all three of us have started a job recently. I think I'm the one that has had the job the longest, and that's for less than a year with the new jobs. But you both have started a job within the last couple of months as well. So, I was wondering, how has that changed the way that you game? Because I know all of our jobs are very different from the ones that we had previous, as far as hours wise, everything that goes with it. So how has it changed it at all? Have you found yourself gravitating to something else? What are you guys doing?
So I can start us off.
Sure.
So I just recently switched jobs about a month ago.
Yeah.
I came from the retail space into the corporate world, so it's been a major change as far as hours go.
Yeah.
I was used to working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and like not necessarily having any of the weekend to myself. And like Genevieve and I were like two ships passing in the night. Like we would need to like find time to literally just spend time with each other. So now that we're both in the corporate world and we're working like Monday to Fridays, like 9 to 5s, or actually she works a lot earlier than I do. She works like 6 to like 3.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then I'm working like 8 to like about 4:30, 5 o'clock every day.
Nice.
It's made it really weird as far as my gaming goes, because like I don't game during the week.
Okay.
Now I only reserve my gaming for like the weekends, and I don't know if this is gonna stick, but like so normally on Saturdays, like we'll take a drive out to go see Genevieve's parents over at her parents' place. And like 2 weeks ago, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay home and play some Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
And for 5.5 hours, I just played Gran Turismo.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I haven't done that in such a long time, because before we were like struggling to find the time to spend with each other. So like if there was time for me and Genevieve to spend together, I would have been like, yeah, let's spend the time together. I'm not going to play a video game. Let's do it. But now that, we both work from home, so it's just like she's literally in the room next to me. So I'm like, okay, let me just take some time to myself, and let me see if I can get gold in all of these licenses, which I did.
Which you did do, and that's crazy to me, especially with the super licenses. The super licenses, like I did them for a while, and then I was like, you know what? I don't need that trophy. I'm fine with I got all the golds in all the previous ones, A and down. And then as soon as I got to super, I was like, all right, I got my like 3 or 4 that I just happened to get, not even like working really hard towards it. But those other ones, I was like, nah, I'm good.
So the most surprising part of me getting the licenses, and if you're not like familiar with how the licensing system in Gran Turismo works, you finish a lap, and then they'll put the ghost on your next trial, so that you can see if you're doing better than your last trial or if you're doing worse. Blah blah blah. Twice during the super licenses, the ghost went away because of some glitch.
I had the same thing happen to me, actually.
Yeah.
I had the exact same thing happen to me.
So I was just like, what do? I don't know if I'm doing well. So I had to finish, I had to kind of keep track of the time, around each turn. And I'm like, okay, if I get out of this turn at 14 seconds, I know that I'm on pace.
Uh-huh.
And then I found out that you can actually turn the demo ghost, because they'll give you a demo. They'll be like, hey, this is how you run the track.
Yeah.
I could turn the demo ghost on and do it. Both times I actually beat the demo car.
Nice.
And I was like, I didn't know that was possible, but hey.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's awesome.
Probably my crowning achievement. Whenever I die, put that on my tombstone.
That's it. That's it right there.
That's the one, right?
I like it. Yeah, I think I had that for the very first one of the super licenses, where I turned on the demo ghost, because just like you, mine disappeared when I started it up one time, and I was like, all right, let me turn on the demo ghost, and I was flying past it until the very last turn. I could not get that last turn for the life of me, and I would be ahead of it by quite a while. Like I had that first 3/4 down, and then that one last turn, I would just get so angry seeing it just taking that turn beautifully and just taken off. I was like, damn it, no, come back, come back.
So the last thing I will say about how, changing jobs has changed the way that I play video games. I am the kind of person who needs to watch something in the background when I'm working.
Gotcha.
Like, something has to be playing in the background. It either has to be something I know, something I'm not very interested in, just something.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a couple of like Twitch streamers during the day, and I tried to do that, but I found that that wasn't working with me. So like I've been able to kind of like, I guess you could say, meander into Twitch a little more over the past like 4 weeks, and just kind of like watching people that stream during the day.
Yeah.
The one thing I haven't done, which I know that it is very brave for someone to do, is to game while I'm on the clock. Technically, I'm on the clock all the time.
You are. But, you have your set hours. You have your set hours.
Yeah, I have those
Can't do
boundaries. I can't do it.
I'm
I can't
with
just
you.
like, okay, listen, I don't work at this place anymore, so I could go ahead and talk crap about it. During the pandemic, they had me working from home at this place, at my last employer. And I was in this experience where I was almost kind of like an HR person for the retail location that I was working at. And they had me working from home, but they were on like a hiring freeze, and they were like on all of these different things, which extremely limited the things that I could do in this experience to just like handling time cards.
Oh, wow.
Like I could not like do anything else.
Gotcha.
So for that one, I was just like, hey, so all I could do is time cards, and I could not get like a response back. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna play some Assassin's Creed then.
Hey, if you tried, and
I tried.
You get no response. Hey, that's your response.
I tried so hard. I sent that, hey, I don't have anything else to do email at like 8:00 on a Friday night.
Hey, that's not on you. That's not.
No longer on me.
That's not on you. That's not on you.
Yep.
So I'm the same way about needing to have something to not focus on so I can focus on work. Like I always have to have either like a song playing on repeat, or I have like Twitch or YouTube or just something. And it could be something really inane, something I want to listen to, something I don't want to listen to. I just let it autoplay and like kind of take me on whatever YouTube. I let it just autoplay. Like take me on whatever rabbit hole you want to today. I'll click on one video and just let it ride. I need that though. I need that weird like white noise almost in the background just to kind of ignore it so that I can focus. And I've been that way my whole life since I was a kid. Like if I was playing a video game or wanting to read a book, I'd have the TV on in the background so I could ignore that to focus on what I was working on, and I or what I wanted to play with. I love it.
No,
I love doing that. I feel like I learn a lot more too because when I do start to like desync from focusing, I start learning something that I didn't know. I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. Back to work.
Yeah.
But gaming wise, it has. I think because I did a lot of video editing before, and it's not like I used to work in front of computers a lot, but because I tend to stay a little bit later because I kind of want to get a head start on like a lot of different things and learning all sorts of stuff at my job. I find that I'm in front of computer screens very close to my face a lot more for the last 2 months. So it has totally dampened how much screen time I want to have when I'm not at work.
Okay.
Like the TV is much further away from me when I sit down now. If I have my phone out, it not that my phone was ever up bright, but it's really not up right now. And like everything kind of affects my eyes in like a weird way because I think it's because I just spend a little too much time in front of screens. And just this past 2 weeks, I started like I didn't play Elden Ring for like 3 or 4 weeks. I didn't play like anything. Like we had just talked about it last week. I really hadn't been playing anything.
Yeah, you played it maybe for like 2 or 3 hours a week.
A week, yeah.
Yeah, it
and
wasn't
then
for that much.
This past week though, like I get out. I also on salary, so my hours are my boss is really cool as long as I get my work done. I mean,
right?
They're not really strict about when I'm there, and they know I put in plenty of overtime. A lot because lots of big projects needed to get done.
Right.
So they don't give me a hard time ever. I can't I can't game while on the clock. There's just something about that like for me, like I just don't think I can do it. I don't think I'll go back to work. Like I think I won't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'll get out of that. I'm having a good time. I'm not gonna. You know what I mean? Like I just don't think my brain can click off to that or click back on. But I will say this: the last week though, pretty much every night after work, I was like, I'm gonna spend 2 hours in Elden Ring. And then over the weekend, I was like, screw it. I think I played Elden Ring for probably like 8 hours one of the days. Just straight running around, just killing things. It was great. Finding new grace points, you know. I even went to I decided I was going to do some of the story. I was like, I'm going to go talk to some people and watch some cutscenes. It's going to be wild. And then I did, and I got really bored, and I was like, I don't care. I'm going to go find other things to kill.
Let me go back to kill things.
I killed a dragon.
Skip.
It was really cool. It was a dragon I didn't mess with the whole time, and then I went back to it, and I was like, oh, I murdered it in one try. This game is awesome. I'm also sad because that dragon's not there anymore, so I can't look at it. I felt like a creeper every time I came up on it, too. It was always like sleeping, and I'm like, oh, look at it sleeping over there. It would want to murder me so bad if it woke up. And then it would wake up, I'm like, gotta go.
Oh, no.
Hashtag summer of bonuses. You know what else I realized?
What's that?
All three of us have actually made the switch over from retail over to corporate.
That's right.
Yep.
Or in my case, I went to government, which is still
corporate.
pretty darn corporate.
I mean,
it's a little
still
wild.
pretty corporate.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
okay.
still set hours. That's the main thing. That's the main thing all of us went from. We went from, even though Joe and I did have like set hours, as soon as like
It
events
wasn't 9
happened
to
or anything
5.
like that,
It wasn't, yeah.
you know, we had to cover it. You know, we were suddenly working 80-hour weeks, you know.
Question for you guys, though. How weird is it to have holidays or days around holidays off? Like, having both the weekend days off is like one thing where I'm like, I don't even know what to do with myself on Saturdays. I've worked every Saturday for like 23 years. So like I was it was very weird.
Yeah.
But now I get holidays off? What do you guys like? I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm confused.
So I'll just, before we go on to Brian, because I do want to
go for it.
hear about your experience, Brian. Like, for me, it's doubly weird because I work for a company, a European company now, and they have a different holiday schedule.
Yeah, that's right.
So I work through their holidays, right? Which means that literally 95% of the company is not working, and it's just like 5% of us just on the Slack channel being like, so what are you guys up to? What are you guys doing?
Hey.
And then the other way around, I get the US holidays off, but things are still happening in the background while I have to take that holiday off.
That's right, yeah.
So like I come back to like, hey, like the week has already started. Like this past week with Memorial Day, like the week had already started, and I just kind of like had to like hit the ground running on
That's
Tuesday.
right. Yeah. Yeah, it's so wild because like all of us went from retail to, you know, places that have set time off and set holidays and everything. And so, you know, I work for a school, and I have teachers, you know, we're coming up to the summer, we're coming up to the end of the year. Like this week coming up is the last week for us. And so I have teachers going, oh, you know, what are you going to be doing for the summer? I was like, oh, I work year round. You know, I'm one of the ones that have an entire full year round. I don't have any weeks off. And they're like, oh, man, that stinks for you. I'm like, listen, you know how many holidays I've gotten off and all these other stupid random things that I've never gotten off before in my entire life? I've had more time off this past year than I've ever had off in my entire life. And
you know how many
shocking.
Black Fridays and Christmas Eves
Oh
I've
my
had
God.
to work?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh
it
my
was,
God. I don't even know. I
it
don't
was
even know
so
what
nice.
to do.
Yeah.
I'm beyond excited about it.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. But yeah, for myself, like gaming wise, it's also changed as well because especially pre-pandemic, we were out almost every single night. We were out on the weekends because, you know, we worked nights almost most of the time. So we were always out late. Gaming was like, all right, I can game here, I can game there. You know, maybe I'll take a day and do this. But like you said, now it's just gaming all the time. And then especially when the pandemic happened, where nobody's going out, we're not doing anything, so we're just home. Like this past weekend during Memorial Day, Sunday and Monday, I didn't even get out of my pajamas. I didn't leave the house. I was just straight lounging about, playing some games, catching up on some games. It's been nice. I've been able to finish a lot more games so far this year than I have been the previous years. It's been real interesting how everything changes.
That's interesting that you've been able to finish games because my experience has been a little different. Like, yes, I have more time to play the games that I want to play, but I keep on going back to like the games that I know that don't necessarily have a story, don't have a progression or anything like that. So like Rocket League, like Gran Turismo, yes, I've been playing it like nonstop, but like, and that definitely does have a little bit of a story because you're trying to collect all these cars.
Yeah.
But like, I'll go back to like FIFA. I'm going back to like Rocket League.
Yeah, because it's your relaxation time. So now instead of going towards a goal, you're like, my goal is to relax and wind down from the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll finish some of the games that I said that I'll finish. I still haven't finished Red Dead Redemption 2, and I set that as a goal for 2022. I was like, I will finish that game before the year is over.
Hey, you got
Still
a
haven't
lot
done
of time now, though. Hey,
Yeah, I do.
going forward, you got a lot of time. So for me, gaming on the clock it was also not a thing before. However, I mean, I'm doing IT stuff, so a lot of it really does just I'm waiting around. I'm installing something. I have to wait till it's done. I can't leave because it might error out in the middle of it. So I'll whip out and I'll play a puzzle game. I'm not going to play anything with like something that's going to, if somebody knocks on the door and needs something right away, I can just pause and that's the only thing I ever do. I just do something that I can pause immediately and do something else. But even then, that's few and far between. I try not to.
I'm going to ask you a very personal question now, Brian.
Hit me.
Do you take your Switch to school?
No, I do not. I only phone game. And even then,
okay. Do you confiscate other kids' Switch games and then play for them, but then they get it back at the end of the day?
That would be amazing, but no. Although I did see a couple of kids at the end of the day while they were waiting for the bus. I was walking by them. They were both on their DSs, their 3DSs.
Yes.
And I was like,
DSs.
So as I was walking by, I was like, hey, what you guys playing there? And they're like, oh, we're playing Yokai Watch. And I was like, hey, so what do you got? You got Jibanyan? And we were just talking back and forth. They're like, yeah, they started showing me their yokais.
So cute.
It was pretty great.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Brian's the cool
was fun.
teacher.
Yeah.
Have they started calling you Teach? Like, yo, Teach?
No, because I'm not a teacher, though. I'm not a teacher.
I know, but you're still a figure of authority, though.
I mean, depending on who you ask, no. Listen, today is a perfect example. At the end of the day, one of the security guards, he had to do security guard things at the end of the day. So I was like, all right, I'll watch your post, no problem. 4 kids start walking by, and they are cursing at the top of their lungs just because they can. And so I was just like, hey, come on. Like, I gave them the look, like, hey, come on, what you doing? And then they just started yelling at me, hey, and then they just started cursing some more. I was like, yeah, I don't even know your guys' names. I don't deal with you. And then a teacher came from around the corner, and they all went silent. I was like, yeah, I'm not authority here, not at all.
You're just one of the guys, Brian.
I'm just one of the guys. The most I can do is I can go to the security guard and be like, hey, look at the cameras and see who those 4 kids were. I don't know their names. You'll have to do something there, but it's not worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've been loving the way you can game now, because just like I said, with the set hours, it's just so weird. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
But it's so weird.
It's something, and I wanna be clear about something. Like, I am definitely not bad mouthing like retail or anything like that, because I know that we still do have a lot of friends and people that still work retail. And listen, I've been there. I did it for like 12 years. You guys did it for a lot longer.
Yeah.
So like we understand the how hard it is to not have a set schedule. And I want to be able to say, like, hey, everybody, the grass is definitely greener.
Like,
so
can be, yeah.
I'm going to go totally different. I am absolutely bad-mouthing a lot of retail. And it's not the people who work there at all.
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
Oh, my God. The people, if it wasn't for the family that we had created in the retail spaces that we were working in, I never would have stuck it with it at anywhere near as much.
Yeah.
And so it's not the people, but there is a lot of stuff in retail that's just so unfair. Like, I have an issue. Like, I work in corporate now. I work in an international company, and my part of it is being like essentially a programs manager. So I physically cannot get a hold of lots of different pieces of the company throughout all sorts of points of the day, because they don't work at that point. They worked while I was sleeping. So there's 24 to 48 to 2 weeks worth of waiting for answers, sometimes pending on PTO or holidays or things going on. So it's just a matter of waiting. I get asked to do something, and I'm like, how prioritized is this? Are we talking like you need it in a half hour? Do you need it in 5 minutes? Do you need it like tomorrow, tonight? What are we talking here? And everyone's like, no. we just want you to start working on it at some point when you have time. And I'm like,
Right.
wait, you don't need it done right now, because you asked for it right now. And they're like, no, just whenever they answer is fine. 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh my God, they still haven't answered. So you know what? Retail being completely like immediate satisfaction and gratification for the customer, maybe people need to chill out and respect retail workers a little bit more, because it's rough. People expect a lot from retail workers and retail stores in general. Like,
Yeah.
maybe they need to be a little more chill. People and maybe management in those, they need to be a little more chill.
Yeah, I feel like the reason why most people stick with retail for a really long time is because of the people working around you.
Absolutely.
It is because of the people that, like, the community that you build and you gather around yourself. Like, that's what kept me at retail for the longest. Like, I was part of a group of people that I would go to war with.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
We hear you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's exactly what it was for us. I mean, we're with the same people, for what, 8 to 10 years. Not a single one of us left. And then one of us left, and then, 2 more of us left, and then another one left. And as soon as one little
like the
domino
Jenga tower.
happened, yeah, exactly. And we were just like, all right, we're gone. We're not.
This isn't fun anymore.
This is fine. Yeah,
This
we're good.
Your eyes start becoming open, and you're like, ooh, this is. Wow, we were totally cool with all this toxic behavior when there was a bunch of us that were having a good time about it.
Yeah.
And now that there's not a bunch of us and it's a little just more toxic
Now
and
it's just
hellscape.
toxic,
No,
just straight up
no,
toxic.
this isn't for me anymore. We're good. I love y'all. Bye.
Yeah, it's that line between Britney Spears toxic and actually toxic is very thin.
Oh,
Very
it
thin.
is. It really is.
But yeah, thank you guys for talking with me about that. And then I think, the other thing I think we can talk about that just happened today, like literally just a couple hours before we recorded this, was the Sony State of Play that just released. It was what I think about 20 minutes long, 15, 20 minutes long.
Yeah, I think it was a little it was close to a half hour.
Oh,
but
what?
Not,
Jeez,
not
wow.
quite. Yeah.
It felt really short.
Yeah.
I guess it felt a little longer for me because every single game for the first 15 to 20 minutes was a zombie game.
Yeah, it's true. That's probably why it didn't seem so long for us, because it just I don't care about that. Don't care about that. Like, oh, is this the same game? Like, what is this?
I had asked
I was
that once
just
or
waiting
twice.
for it to be over, and I'm like, please? Okay, what's this one? Oh, it's undead people. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay. Okay, I guess.
Oh, more undead people. All right, cool. Oh,
More
is this a
undead
jump
people.
scare one?
Oh,
Okay, this is a jump scare
It's
one
a
now.
VR undead people game. Wow. Haven't seen enough of that today.
Although I will say, so they did they talked about the VR stuff, or at least a couple of companies. They announced, or at least they showed off 4 games that are going to be compatible with the PlayStation VR 2, which was Resident Evil 8.
Yeah. So it was Village.
Village.
What else did they show?
The only one I remember is the last one, and one of them was almost like a cartoony type of game, but it was still zombies.
Yeah.
What was the one with the guy with the blue hands? Because you could only see their blue hands, or the blue gloves on their hands. Because it was a it was a virtual game.
The Horizon.
Yeah, that was the last one. That's the one I was going to mention.
Yeah.
Horizon Call of the Mountain. I think this was just announced. This is a brand new game none of us knew about. So this is a side story set in the Horizon universe. And you're going to be hunting machines, or machines are coming or hunting you, one of the two.
Yeah. I mean, someone's getting hunted.
Yeah, either way, you are toe to toe with machines from this world. And I'm not saying this is going to get me to get a VR2, but this is probably the closest it's going to get to me getting a VR2, I believe.
I saw that and immediately thought, "Ooh, we're getting a VR too." It wasn't for me; it was for you.
Yeah, I know.
It's definitely not for me.
I don't know. We'll see. Generally, I actually do, for the most part, enjoy the story a lot in Horizon. So, depending on the story that goes with it, I think is what's going to push me over the edge for that. But it was still definitely interesting. I was not expecting that at all. But yeah, it was pretty cool though. I mean, they started it off with Resident Evil 4, the remake.
They did,
and
which
that was
is,
gorgeous looking.
which is coming out March 23rd of next year.
Correct.
So my gap in Resident Evil knowledge goes from 1, 2, 7, 8. Did not play 3, 4, 5, or 6.
My gap in knowledge now exists because I have not played almost any of them in probably 15 years.
Yeah.
And I don't
It's just time
I
now.
didn't play 7 and I watched a lot of 8
Uh-huh.
and I loved it. I loved it.
yeah.
But like I don't remember 1 through 5 almost at all, and they all kind of blend together now. So when someone says, "Oh, blah blah," I'm like, "Which one was that again? Is that the
Yeah.
one with the rat thing, or is that the one with the?" I don't remember. It doesn't matter anymore. They're all undead people.
Yeah, I think 4 is 4 Nemesis. I think 4. I can't remember. I know one of them's Nemesis.
No, I think
Maybe that's
3
3.
is
I thought
Nemesis.
that
3
was
is Nemesis.
3.
Yes, that's what it was. That's what it
Yeah.
was. All I know is Nemesis was a great name, and then it actually was the name of the bad guy in it. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It had
And
the
if
most
we got
beautiful
it wrong,
yelling
listen.
stars.
It's the summer of bonus episodes.
Yeah, that's what it
Like,
is. There's no
it's-
research
listen.
involved in this. We watched it,
None
and that's what we're
whatsoever.
going off of.
Yep. So I have it here. Resident Evil 4 actually, this says that Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil Village will be in VR2 content.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
correct.
yeah. That's right.
And then the other things that they showed was The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners.
That's right.
The what's it called? The Horizon Forbidden West thing.
Yeah, Call of the Mountain.
Call of the Mountain. Sorry, Horizon Call of the Mountain. And then the last one, No Man's Sky,
That's right. No Man's Sky.
That's wild.
That looked
which
great.
is crazy. It looked great.
It looks
'cause-
great. I don't know how it's going to interact in VR because, it's interesting. It's just,
I mean, the first thing they showed you is you walking towards like a set of ships.
yeah.
And I was just like, oh, how are you going to get into a ship? And apparently you just reach out for it and grab it.
and then you're in
the
it.
ship.
Yeah, that was weird.
So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so it makes me wonder if this is going to be a kind of like a standalone type of thing, or if it's going to be crossplay. Because it's hard to imagine that type of setup with crossplay. But I mean, hey, No Man's Sky has done wonders since it first released, so it wouldn't surprise me if it did. But yeah, that was also really cool looking. That's right.
You know, it was the most cool looking thing though.
What's that?
Like the coolest of the cool.
What is it?
Like
Let's hear it.
the swagger on this game is insane.
The King of Clout.
The king of clout of games.
Okay.
Of this entire state of play. Nothing came close to its majesticness.
All right.
Its amazement. The spectacular. That this game looks amazing. And I'm just gonna put this out there. I don't think any game will ever mean as much for the rest of the year as this game will be. Because when that cat walked up to all of those cute robot people, and then
And some of them ran away.
some of them run away from it. Like, yo, Stray looks amazing.
It does.
I looked down. I'm like, I can't even pull my eyes away from this. And then what do they do at the end of that trailer? You didn't just see cute robot people running away from adorable cat. They have like cat purring sounds at the end of the trailer. It's like making biscuits for you. I can't eat, guys. That game looks amazing.
And it laid down on like a little bit of light. And it was just like hanging out. It's so good. The cool thing that we got about Stray is, number one, we got a release date.
We did?
Yeah.
So July 19th, finally.
Yep.
And I believe this is the first title that's actually going to be available day one on the PS Plus thing.
Yeah,
Yep,
I think it's
yep.
and I think it's available for platinum/deluxe members of it. So yeah, that was to me was the most surprising thing. As great as Stray has looked, since it really, since they announced it, we were all talking about it when it first announced. This was one of those like, oh, this is the most surprising thing that they're actually doing a day one thing, because that was one of the things they were saying that they weren't really going to do. But I guess this is kind of I don't want to say lesser title, but this is more along the lines of like a $30 or $40 title versus a $70 title. So yeah, I mean, this reminded me that we still haven't signed up for the higher tier of PlayStation Plus. Even though it's been out for like a week or two.
Yep.
The minute they said that it was like going to be available for PS Plus members day one, I was just like, Oh, that might actually be worth it.
Yeah. Agreed.
We were gonna do it the deluxe whatever it was just for
Yeah, the highest tier. Just
we were
'cause,
gonna do
you
it just
know.
because we wanted to test it out, see how it was, to see
Yeah.
Mr. Drillers in the PlayStation 1 game. So like I don't want to have to take a
Yeah.
PlayStation 1 ever again. It's great, but
my excuse was Hot Shots Golf. I was like, I can
Beautiful.
get,
Yeah.
I can play Hot Shots Golf all the time. Yeah, let's do it.
Beautiful.
You got it.
I had that same feeling I have every time a game I want to play is on Game Pass. I was like, awesome! I already pay for this, and I now don't have to go buy that game. But the reality, I'll probably still buy Stray at some point because I'm sure it'll have a dope steelbook.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sure.
it might. Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
They're gonna
That's
get
true.
me twice for that game somehow.
Yeah, that game still continuously looks great. And so hyped for it, especially because it's going to be part of something that we were going to buy anyways.
Yeah, we got the trailer showed us a little bit more about the world. It showed us your I guess main character, the cat, interacting with like dogs and other creatures like in the sewers and stuff like that. And if anything bad happens to your cat, story wise, I will riot.
I don't think I'm gonna handle that well. Yeah.
Nope.
That's not.
I will. Yeah, I will chuck the closest thing around me into the wall. It's gonna be crazy, and hopefully that's not a cat because I do have two of them.
They'll stop you.
I hope
they'll,
not as
they'll,
well.
They'll pop onto your lap, stop purring. They'll be like,
Yeah.
no, daddy, it's okay. It's okay.
No, both of them are actually very quick. So like, I say like, oh, I'm gonna chuck them. Like I could just reach down and grab them. No, those, yeah, they're super
Cats ain't
quick.
slouches.
Yeah. And my reaction, hey, listen, I'm 36. My reaction speed has gone like way low.
It has.
Dexterity, not even there.
It's shocking because I didn't realize how bad it was until like you go back and you play a game that you played back when you were younger,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh, I am not as good at this as I was before. And it's not because of my skill or anything. It's just my reaction time is so much less now.
Yeah, it's so bad. Two indies were announced, or
that's
they were
right.
showcased.
Yeah.
So Tunic, which I think has been around, but it's now coming over to the PlayStation.
Correct. Yeah, I think it was out on the Switch and it was out on the
Game Pass.
PC. So yeah, that's all it's been out on. So yeah, this is the first time we've seen that it's coming to PlayStation.
I'm
which
actually
is
really
great.
excited.
Yeah.
Tunic looks
It-
great.
It,
Yeah.
looks super great. It's out September 27th. The other one is Season: A Letter to the Future, which
looks
looks
so
the
good.
most Troy game I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes, I saw it and I was like, well, Troy's playing this one.
Immediately, I
play
was
it
like,
too.
this looks like a game where Troy's going to cry.
Yeah, and I knew.
Oh,
Yeah, and Joe's
it
also
does.
gonna play it as
I'm
well
gonna
'cause
play-
it's
the
a
style,
photography game.
and it's a photography game. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, it's this game, yes. And wow, does it look amazing?
Yeah, that looks great.
It also has like that cell shaded like
Yes.
art style that I really liked. The other game that has cell shaded art style is that Roller Drome game, which
Yes.
is a combination Jet Set Radio, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and Max Payne. I think.
It looks so
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know what to think of it.
Rollerdrome.
Like this was one of those things where it's like this is only something that could come out of an indie studio because they're the only ones who would believe in this enough in order to be like, no, we're still developing this. Yes, that's what we're doing. Yes, you're going to be able to do a trick flip McHady and still be able to shoot a guy in the face. Like,
Yep.
yes, that's
in
what
slow
we're doing.
motion.
Yes. But I think one of the biggest announcements, besides what we're going to get to probably at the end of this one, was the announcement of Street Fighter 6 that was going through all the different modes. So it looked like you could almost have like a career mode in
Yeah.
this. I think it's called like Fighting Ground or something like that.
Yeah.
It showed off a bunch of different modes. And the way that they did it was kind of like an onion because I was like, oh, what kind of game is this? Because you're this character, and then there's like, oh, there's Chun-Li. Oh, this is a Street Fighter game. What kind of Street Fighter game is this? Because this doesn't look like a normal one. And then it kept on going. Then it kept on adding more layers, and it was just like, oh no, this is Street Fighter 6, y'all. And I was like, damn, that's a. I don't know how hardcore Street Fighter fans feel about it because we have a couple of them. So I'll definitely ask them afterwards. But I don't know how hardcore Street Fighter people feel about this. But myself was one of those like, oh. That's pretty great. That's pretty awesome looking.
Yeah. In line, it's very similar to my Resident Evil knowledge. My knowledge of Street Fighter literally goes 1, 2, and nothing else.
Well, really, 2 includes like 30 different titles. So really, you know.
I was just thinking, I was like, that's right. There is lore in Street Fighter, and all of the lore I know comes from the Street Fighter 2V animated series.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I really, is it 2V or is it 2? It's just Street Fighter 2.
I don't remember.
I think it's Street Fighter 2V. There's an animated series. It was like an anime.
Oh, okay.
And I remember watching that. And when I watched that originally, I knew a lot about Street Fighter. I was like, that's not what happened here. And now at this point, I have yeeted. Everything is yeeted, and only the animated series remains. So every once in a while, one of our hardcore Street Fighter friends will be over like, hey, what did this thing over here? And like, what are you talking about? That's not real.
What do you
Oh,
mean?
my bad.
only for me, only the live action movie remains.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, you only watch it on a Tuesday. That's all that you do.
Yeah. But I will say, Street Fighter 6 looks really good. It looks Ryu with a beard. I didn't think I was gonna like, but hey, my guy looks pretty good.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. He also looks chunky. Like he looks like he's put on some muscle mass.
Well, I mean, how old is he? When did the first Street Fighter come out?
Oh,
Probably
it was the 80s, I believe. I think it was the late 80s.
maybe early 90s. So
Yeah,
like my
maybe.
guy's getting up there in age.
He
So, like,
is.
yeah, he's gonna gain a little bit of weight. He can do that.
But that's all muscle though. That's not even like
Oh,
that's like pure muscle that he put on. That's like World's Strongest Man is the way that he did that.
yeah.
So Street Fighter, the arcade game developed by Capcom,
Yeah.
originally released on August 12th, 1987.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah.
How crazy.
Well, the original
That is
Street
a
Fighter.
lot earlier than I thought.
Original Street Fighter, if you look at that, the buttons on that, they had 2 giant, and I do mean giant, like cushioned buttons that you would punch or that you would hit.
I remember it was an arcade game.
And it was
for
an
a long
arcade
time
game, so
before
it was
console.
completely different than Street Fighter 2. But yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it does look good. I'm intrigued because I do know a couple of people like in my friend circle who are very big Street Fighter people, who are competitive Street Fighter.
Yeah, same.
People who I am going to wait and see what they say about it. But it does look good.
It does.
I'm not a fighting games kind of person. I did see that one of the characters that they showed off was a very Eddie Gordo kind of character, where he did a lot of spinning kicks,
Oh, yeah.
like the guy from Tekken.
Uh-huh.
I cannot remember what his name was though.
I can't either. He's basically the drunken master because he was he was taking some sips after some fighting.
I'll do one last bit of news before Brian hits us with the biggest one out of the state of play. But
No, we already talked about Stray.
something that I thought was not going to happen has happened, which is Spider-Man is now on PC,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
which
They
is big.
It is. They've been doing that with a lot of their bigger titles now. They've been putting it on PC, and it's been making a lot of money for them. I think it was one of their earnings call. I think it was either earlier last month or maybe the month before, where they're expecting PC sales to account for like $200 million for their fiscal year, which they're just reissuing titles they've already released on PlayStation, on the regular PlayStation. So I don't want to say it's free money, but that's basically free money for them.
It's free money, yeah. Spider-Man Remastered is going to be available on PC August 12th, and then they mentioned that Miles Morales will be available later next year.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. I mean, I don't think they would ever be on Game Pass, let's be real.
No.
But, I mean, the fact that they're on PC is just as shocking.
Yeah. I think they realized that cross-platform, not even cross-platform, but just more platforms to sell your games on. They were seeing what Microsoft was doing. And even though Microsoft didn't really sell as many Xboxes as them, they were still making as much, if not more, money because of all of their PC game sales. And so they're like, oh, well, hey, let's release a game on here and there, and let's see if it works out. And it has. Their games when they release on Steam are consistently in the top 5, if not, or top 10, if not top 5, for a couple of months. And as soon as they go on sale, that goes right back up, and they're like full price games as well. It's not like they're discounting them when they put them on PC. So that's I think it's the more people who can play your game, I think the better. And that's phenomenal. They're both great games, so I'm happy that people are going to get to play them. Yeah, absolutely. And now let's go to the big announcement, or at least not even an announcement. It was just another new updated trailer for Final Fantasy 16, which had a glorious foreword from Yoshi P, the producer of the game, or the creator of the game. And it's definitely medieval.
Yes.
And they are heavily relying on those summons. So much so that Hassel and I were talking before this, where Yoshi P was like, yo, we're going to be doing so much with the summons. I need you to make this song and have every single summon back to back. Just say them out loud. And they're like, really? Is that what you want? It's like, yes, that's what I want right now.
Should we save it so it's kind of like a surprise? No.
They know what they're getting. It's a Final Fantasy game. The summons are almost always the same. It was. The game looked almost like it had kaiju battles because they were all giant summons. It's not like they were going with I realize that summons are giants, but sometimes they go with the medium to smaller size ones. But no, every single one of these was just Godzilla, King Kong. Let's do it.
Idea for a game: medieval kaiju battles.
Ooh, I could see that. Why not?
Right?
That's basically what this is. But it was interesting because as I was watching it, I wasn't watching the. I was watching the main gameplay, but I was also looking around, and I was seeing how you were playing as the actual summons themselves. Your health was the summons, and then also in some of the other ones you were fighting against the summons as a summon. And I was looking at that. Then I was also looking at the bottoms on I was also looking at the buttons on the bottoms because it actually had you're using. This looks like it's going to be in real time, kind of like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy 15. Where this looks
so it's not going to be turn based.
It's not. It doesn't look like it's going to be turn based because it actually has it has your high potions and your potions and whatnot. You have you can quickly hit it using the D-pad, and then you had your attacks as well as your skills attached to the other buttons, your X, triangle, circle, square. And so I was looking at those because those kept on changing because they had different skills available when they were doing them. So I was looking at that, and it seems interesting. There's definitely some skills that I did not recognize on the lower right hand corner. So I'm jazzed. I want to see what they do with it.
Visually, it looks beautiful.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah, it looks
phenomenally.
Great.
Yeah, and this is from the guy who saved Final Fantasy 14. So I'm not saying my expectations are amazingly high, but they are pretty darn high. And I think if anybody could kind of revitalize the Final Fantasy brand, I think it would be Yoshi P.
And Yoshi P, you trust?
Yeah, absolutely. He is the only dragon we've done twice.
Hey, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So listen, it's the summer of bonus episodes, so I kind of want to go ahead and finish the episode with wait, we are done with the episode, right?
Yeah.
That
was
great.
It. It was the state of play.
Look,
that's what I was. We're done.
Listen, short and sweet. Here's what I want to do.
What's that?
I am going to close the show or close the episode by asking you guys a question.
Oh.
Restaurateur Street Fighter. Who's your fighter?
Ooh, Restaurateur.
Is it Wolfgang Puck? Is it Gordon Ramsay? Is it Jimmy Buffett?
You know what? I'm going wild card. I'm going Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri.
Flavor Town.
He's taking you to Flavor Town.
Oh, Flavor Town. Okay. I love it.
You know what? He already looks like a Street Fighter character. You don't even have to do anything to him to Street Fighter him up. He's done. He comes pre-packaged. So yeah, Guy Fieri. That's who I'm going with. What about you, Joe?
I like it. Okay.
I'm gonna kick the door in every restaurant and be David Chang.
Oh,
He is the
creator of Momofuku.
Momofuku, and like countless other amazing restaurants.
Yeah, that's true.
And he knows how to make a noodle like no one else knows. And he would probably be like Min Min. I feel like he would one of his arms would be like a ramen bowl, and he'd be whacking the crap out of you with a noodle arm. His summons would be like summoning whole restaurants in to destroy you. The man's never done a bad thing in his whole life. And you know what? He spent like 6 years like training and making the most perfect ramen broth, the base of the gods. And I think this man, he could take anybody. Yeah. I'm gonna come in with David Chang.
Okay.
That's my
I see that. So you're a guy trained to be who he was, whereas Guy Fieri was just born to it.
That's correct.
Right.
So that's
Mine is
I
the
like
Rock
that.
Lee.
Yeah, I see that.
Guy Fieri is like the bane of restaurateurs.
Yes.
But Guy Fieri's, you know what though? But Guy Fieri, since he eats at so many diners, drive-ins, and dives, he can survive really well because
he does.
He's
The
been
Constitution. Constitution's
he's
maxed.
been so brutalized by what he eats.
Yeah. You would think that I would go Jimmy Buffett just to bring it around full circle. I don't want to go Jimmy Buffett. I'm actually going to go Wolfgang Puck, and his special, he just turns into a gang of wolves.
Oh.
Right?
That's rough. That's
I'm telling you.
Can they be wolves that play hockey? So they are slap-shotting pucks at you with their tails?
It's the summer of bonus. Anything could happen.
We're doing it all.
And then it's a full moon. They all turn into werewolves.
Whoa.
We don't stand a chance, Joe.
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like David Chang would find a way to eat them. I feel like he would find a way to market them.
What if David Chang like Sub-Zero threw just ramen not ramen broth on the floor?
Broth on the floor. They start slippering.
I love it.
That's great. And then Guy Fieri just opens up a portal to Flavor Town, and it's just like, I've seen things.
Yep.
It's Guy Fieri at Momofuku waiting for that
they
bowl
actually
made
team
out
up.
of the Wolfgang pucks.
You would think Flavor Town is a really nice place. It isn't.
It is
it's
not.
It's like the Nether Realm.
It is
of this game.
Oh man, I love that question. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was
beautiful.
not expecting that. That's amazing. So yeah, I think that will do it for this week's episode, everyone. I think this was a great first week of bonus. I'm glad that we had some things happen this week, and some things that have happened in our lives that we can talk about, and share.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys for joining me. And so as always, though, you can find us everywhere. You can find us on the Twitter, on the YouTube. That's right, I'm bringing back the YouTube again. On the Twitch, you can find us. We're always there. GeoCities. What is it? The Alta Vistas. Everywhere.
Neopets.
Foursquare.
Neopets. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. But yeah, always at Taste of Dragons. So join us there, everyone. We'll see you there. That's right. That's where we're at.
Love it.
But as always, my name is Brian.
I'm Hassel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
The Taste of Dragons.
Have a great week, everyone.
Good night, y'all.
Goodbye.
Happy summer in Margaritaville.
Wasted away in Margaritaville.
Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast, a podcast for everyone's taste.
Beautiful.
It'd be really cool if Jimmy Buffett can just launch salt and pepper shakers at you.
Oh man.
I feel like the Pioneer Woman would whip out cast iron and just pummel you.
Ooh, and then if the Colonel shows up, he's just dousing you in hot oil.
Ooh, I hadn't even thought about the Colonel. The Colonel would show up and he would use his charm and just his little hearts would come out. Hearts would come out of everybody. And they would...
we're doing the Colonel from the Colonel Sanders dating sim. Got it. Okay. Not the actual Colonel.
No, no.
I don't know who the restaurateur behind Taco Bell is, but I hope it's that Chihuahua so we can have the Chihuahua dog as a fighter in it.
That would be so
because that would be
cool.
cool.